Welcome to Conversations with Nando. In previous conversations, we were talking about where the good ideas, the use cases for AI come from. I recently talked to some of our sellers in Australia. They were telling us from conversations with partners and districts how they came with a great idea. We also talked with the people in IT telling us what they were developing at Cisco and what was coming next for us, right? I talk about augmented AI, assisted AI, as well as autonomous AI. Today, I'm delighted to be with three of my team members in the strategy planning operations or revenue operations, and coming with their own ideas and implementations on AI. And actually, I want to introduce them right now. Hyodon is the SPO, Strategy Planning Operations Lead for Korea. Adrian is the Strategy Manager in ASEAN. And Chenjie is the Head of Analytics for Asia Pacific, Japan, and Greater China. And one of the things we did in our offsite back in October was to look at our own function, strategy and operations, sales strategy and operations, and how was AI gonna impact us? And it was critical, not only for me as a leader to see how the team is gonna evolve and how we're gonna evolve our function, but also to find new ways to provide value to our stakeholders, normally sales leaders in the region, right? We spend a lot of time thinking of how do we use the tools ourselves, how so we can help the field sellers to use the tools. And as a result, at the end of the offsite, we concluded that we needed more time. And we came with this idea of a hackathon, gave the teams about a month and a half to come with one problem to solve using AI with existing tools today. They are not perfect, but they are there. And come back to us and let us know what they thought it was great. What you have here is the result of that. So we have a winner of that contest, which is Adrian. We have a runner-up, which was Chenjie, and we have the biggest loser, or the fastest loser, which was Hyodon. And I say that lightly because we were also interested in hearing about the things that did not work well. And I think it's very common in the beginning of any new transformation or development to have fast failure, right, and learn from that failure. And that's why we also gave an award for that. And there was more than one, so don't feel bad about it, right? The participation was huge. We have many, so for you guys to be here today is a big thing. And I want to ask them exactly what they were thinking to solve on AI and go into some details. And I'll start with you, Adrian. Tell us, what was your story?
The idea we proposed was the strategic agentic newsletter that can be used for all Cisconians with the click of a link. It started because CK, the Malaysian country manager, wanted us to do a 3-year growth plan for Malaysia. But we had trouble figuring out which were the recent developments that we should factor into building out the plan.
When you say developments, what do you mean specifically?
So things like the national budget, major government developments, investment decisions for mega projects, etc.
So mostly external data that will impact the strategy direction.
Correct, yes. And even though when we addressed it at the request of the country manager, we realized it was very ad hoc. Right? There was no periodic way to factor those in, or even for them to know, right, on a daily, weekly, or quarterly basis. So that's why the idea came about to create an agentic newsletter.
How long was it taking you before the agentic newsletter to create one of those summaries of what's happening, in the market, geopolitics, macroeconomics, and so on?
Before we had Gen AI, like ChatGPT, etc., that could take a couple of hours, depending on, or even half a day, depending on how thorough a leader or a salesperson wanted to know about certain things. With ChatGPT, of course, it shortens it, right? But again, that's just a dump, a summary of stuff, without really giving you an implication of what it means for a Cisco salesperson and the role that they play. Right? Now, with this newsletter that was created, at the click of a button, it summarizes the news for you, and also what it could mean for the Cisco salesperson within 30 seconds.
And this is tailored for, if you are in public sector versus you are in enterprise or in the telecom business, is that tailored, the newsletter, to your own situation?
Yes, it can be, because you can input the parameters that you want, your role, the geographic coverage, which countries interest you, which industries, which companies or competitors, down to the Cisco technology that you want to customize it for. For example, you could be the VP of Asia Pac, but you're interested in telecoms that particular day or week, and you care about XYZ companies, and particularly what they're doing, those companies are doing in terms of, say, cybersecurity. The newsletter will be customized for you.
How long did it take you from concept to get something running?
The first iteration took about a couple of days. So that was done via Perplexity. Why Perplexity? Because Perplexity had the scheduled task function, where based on the instructions you give, it produces the output, in this case, the newsletter. The challenge was with Perplexity, you cannot scale it, so to speak, meaning I can't share it automatically with other people. Or if somebody else wanted to do the same thing as me, they have to go to Perplexity and set it up for themselves, so it's not scalable. Hence why, after some trial and error, that's the first iteration. After that, it took, I think, a few more days, close to a week in fact, to have something workable via Gemini. Because Google's Gemini allows you to customize an agent, in this case the newsletter, but it allows you to share the link to the agent tool to anybody else.
And what do you think it has been the impact in the field? Has this been used, or is just our team who is using it?
I've shared it with some sellers in Malaysia and Vietnam. The feedback has been more positive in Malaysia than in Vietnam, for two reasons. The first is language. Unlike Malaysia, where there's sufficient English medium-based business publications, in Vietnam is of course more Vietnamese than English. Agentic tool was mainly designed for English, or rather the limit of the code behind it is towards English. As a non-Vietnamese, it didn't occur to me until I tested it with a couple of sellers in Vietnam. So language is fine, meaning it's pulling from sources that are mainly English, whereas in Vietnam, it's mainly Vietnamese business sources. The second one is the quality of the source. Quality meaning on some days you try it, the sources are credible sources. On other days you try it, it may pull from a random blog. I'm not saying the blog may not be true, but at first glance you might be skeptical of the source, right? So it took a continuous iteration of the tool's instructions and code for you to refine the output. So those were two main feedbacks that the sellers gave me.
And this is why I think the human in the loop is still so important. And somebody actually knows when you get the prompt back and you get the newsletter, you read it and you use your common sense as well based on your experience to know this sounds right, this doesn't right. So I think this is quite common in the early days of AI, and we're gonna see much more of that. But overall, it results in a massive amount of saving in hours that your team had to spend before inputting this, or actually you just didn't have the time probably to meet every single seller interest, whereas right now, this is fully automated. So
Yes.
thank you very much. Let's move into you, Jie. You've been leading analytics team in APJC for a long time. I was saying in an earlier series that we used to call this not AI, we call it machine learning. We use many other terms, right? But what is exactly what you guys did to keep us so happy with the tools? We heard early on in another video from Vicky, the head of ASEAN, saying how she's using the tool all the time and how she cannot live without this, particularly predictive analytics, the forecast nodes. So what is that exactly?
Let me share one of our latest innovation, the AI forecast nodes. So how did we come up with this idea? In Cisco, we've always been valued the data-driven decisions. So our sales leaders review a wide range of KPIs, spot risks, and identify opportunities every week for their preparation of the forecast call. So we have a great tool, the Exec Console, which provides all the dashboards and the analysis. But honestly, it can take a lot of time for our sales leaders to review all the details, dig in, and have a full picture of their business. So this makes us thinking, what if we can build an AI agent that do this heavy lifting on behalf of our leaders? So agent that monitors all the APIs, pulling out the key insights, and send a summary of the highlights to them every Monday morning. So the goal is to automate the routine analysis, save time, and really boost the productivity.
And I can give you two examples that ratify exactly what you just said. Bikin was saying that she wakes up at 5 in the morning. The first thing she does is checking on the executive console, the prediction, where the weaknesses are, where the opportunities are, and then make some calls. And her team is already expecting those calls, right? Because they are looking at the same data. Also at the highest level in the SLT, most people have not noticed that those AI forecast notes are made by AI. So the language is so good and the insights are so Cisco type that people have not noticed. And to me, that's the biggest success, right? That they don't know that this is now automated and allowing us also to scale much more, right? Because before, remember, I always will ask you, so what, right? We see this data, so what, so what? And now the so what comes quite clearly, and it's more about what can we do about it, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly. So one item that surprised surprised us the most is that how much the LL models have advanced over just in a year. So without any additional training, we can now generate a summary and highlights for the business based on our raw data very easily. So that was totally not the case a year ago. So it's tremendous advance in the LLM model.
And I think I should point out something that we discussed before. Many companies executives are concerned about taking the data out and use the LLM model. So the example that Adrian was giving, it's for external data. So we're okay, we can use whatever is available out there. The example you're giving is internal data. The data doesn't go out. We bring the models into our own data center.
Yeah, it's so we connect the ChatGPT through our corporate-approved API connection with our corporate token. So it's very safe. All the data is within our corporate boundary. No confidential information.
This is one of the most requested items I hear from when I talk to other executives. How do you guys do it without moving your data out, right? And again, I always make that distinction: external data versus internal data. Internal data, you want to keep it, is your gold mine. External data, you can capture from elsewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. And another point I want to add on is implementation of the oversight to ensure the accuracy and reliability of all the results we put in the highlights, because this is very critical to make sure we deliver the right insights to leaders.
Human in the loop again, or checking that everything makes sense?
At the beginning, we do review all the details, but now we have implemented some oversight criteria, rules to make sure everything.
Oh, you mean automated? Automated.
Yes.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to come to this solution?
The whole implementation, so we actually built 3 agents to fully automate the process. So one data fetch agent to download and grab all the charts and data from our exec console dashboards, insight generation agent, which analyze all the numbers, translate them into clear and meaningful message, and also pull highlights out of what matter the most. Yeah. Then the third is a slide builder agent, which puts everything together, creating a PowerPoint slides with both the visuals and the key takeaways. So the end-to-end, the development of the 3 agents took us 3 weeks for the implementation and validation.
So that's very fast. And are those agents autonomous, or still you do one and then that output you put to the next one?
It's all through prompt engineering.
All prompt engineering.
Yeah.
But do you just do it once and then the 3 agents come up with the result, or you have to do one, then pass the information to the next one? Have you managed to get it fully automated or not?
The full process is fully automated. The 3 agents work sequentially. So data fetch, generate insights, then building slides. Yeah. So, but the prompt engineering is reusable. So we build for, of course, use case by use cases, but the turnout is very fast.
How much time do you think you guys have saved because of this?
For all the sales leaders, when they review the KPI, spot risk, and identify opportunity, it usually takes a few hours every Monday. So now we turn it out to be 30 minutes every Monday to generate the summary and the highlights and send to the leaders. So they no longer need to log into VPN, go to the dashboard, etc. They can just read through the highlights, then start the work for the week.
So we hear all your stories, very interesting, a lot of impact, some work to do there, but pointed at the right direction. As I told you, the company is going in that direction. But if you were to do it all over again, right? Because we were in a very constrained environment. It was hackathon, get it done in a month and a half. I think that's the time we gave you, right? Or less. What would you do different? Maybe you start.
Yes, I know there is a current function that is being developed within Cisco that which helps you to personalize the outcome of the LLM, our Cisco LLM, which is that if you have a SharePoint and you can upload very confidential information, it's 100% Cisco internal, so it's safe to upload. And then you can upload your emails, you can upload all your files up onto the file, and then the output that it gives, even if it's like Claude or even if it's a Gemini, it builds the output from the share folder. So the output becomes very personalized, and very Cisco relevant.
And it stays within Cisco,
Within
doesn't
Cisco,
go outside.
perfectly safe. So if I had more time and if I take another round, then I would definitely go for that direction.
Maybe I'll send you in a trip to California to headquarters to head the team.
That would be so nice.
Adrian, what would you do different?
I would probably gotten feedback from salespeople earlier in the process of developing the Agentic newsletter solution. I did get feedback, but I must confess it was within the SPO family, even though the initial ask, the trigger point, was from the country manager of Malaysia, a salesperson, sales leader himself. So I guess if I had gotten feedback earlier, then the iteration would have been better and perhaps even faster.
This is not unusual in IT. It's also very common in any design, product design function. Always check with the customer, check with the user, right? And sometimes users want something very concise. Sometimes they want a lot of detail. I've seen in my experience that you got to adapt to that, right? And AI allows you to precisely have that kind of differentiation. So that's a good point. Yeah, what would you do different?
I would say think big, start small. Set ambitious goals, but break them down to the manageable pieces that AI can handle. There are tremendous potential for AI to help you automate your process, save your time, and boost your productivity. So never fear of trying, just keep doing it.
I think GA was trying to talk to you here, Don, because you thought big, for sure, but then you went big as well in trying to implement, right? So, but thank you.